Shape your words, and your words will shape you. This is Rick Jarman, Real Estate Old School. Now, I didn't come up with that. I heard my pastor say that in his sermon this morning, and it had been on my mind. But you know, so true. There's something about when you say you're going to do something, you can think about it, and you can write it down on a piece of paper, and nobody knows about it but you. Maybe it's a goal you set. But as soon as you say it to someone, it's out there then. There's no backing up. I started dating my wife when I was 17. She was about 18 and a half. And we got engaged just a few months after we started dating. True love. You know what they say about true love. So we were going to get married, but we had to wait for me to get out of high school. She was in college. She didn't know I was still in high school when we first met, but that's another whole story for another video. I was in her brother's band, and you know, I asked her out. She didn't know I was in high school, and I didn't look like I was in high school. So anyway, we get engaged. We're waiting on me to get out of high school. Well, I told her then. I said, one of these days, I'm gonna buy my mama a house. See, a lot of y'all don't know. You may have heard me talk about it some, but my dad had a complete mental breakdown when I was 3 years old. And he was in the VA hospital till I was 15. Well, I got married at 18. Wasn't out of high school a month. Just turned 18 in May and got married in June. So he was like a big brother to me, more than a dad. So my mother was mother and father both when we were growing up. But anyway, when my dad got sick, they lost their house, they lost their car. My mother didn't have a job. She didn't even drive. So we were homeless for about 9 months to a year. Now, I didn't even find out about this till a few years ago. My brother, who's 6 years older than me, was telling me about this, that we were homeless. And I knew my mom had worked hard all my life to keep a roof over our head, and she always instilled in us that you want to own your own place. You don't want to have to rent from somebody, because we always had to rent from people. Well, she and I lived with one of her sisters, and my brother with another sister. That's what my brother told me. So we had it tough growing up. But buddy, she taught us how to work. She made us work. We had to work. She always told us, whatever you do it to the best of your ability. And she told us that you're as good as anybody else. You're not any better, but you're just as good. We all put our britches on one leg at a time. Well, anyway, it was tough. Went to work young. Sure didn't hurt me though. Taught me how to work. It was good for me. I told my wife one day, I'm gonna buy my mother a house. And she actually lived in 3 houses I bought for her. I paid her house payment for her and my dad probably for, 15 years. She died when I was 40. I guess I was 42. And, I bought her those. In fact, when she died, I had built her a brand new house. Now, I'm not telling you this to tell you, oh, this is what I did. How good I am. I don't mean it like that. But I knew then, as a teenager, what I wanted to do for her. And I told it to here I don't even have my own place yet. And I'm telling my wife one day I'm going to buy my mother a house. And like I said, I bought her 3 of them before it was over with. And the last one was a new one. My dad never was able to work again. His health was always bad. But she kept a roof over our head. And so many times, everybody out here is just, you think you got it bad. And and some people do. I read a thing one time that says I was sad because I had no shoes till I saw the man that had no feet. Somebody's always got it worse than you. We had love, and we had a mama do whatever it takes for us. But who would have thought? My wife and I have been married Well, it'll be 48 years this coming June. I'm doing what I loved. I've always wanted to do construction work since the summer before my senior year in high school. And I've been in the real estate and construction business, flipping houses, renting property, and everything since then. Nothing else I ever wanted to do. And it's brought me a lot of joy. There's a lot of people out there that can't see what the future may hold for them because they're so hung up on what they're going through right now. Don't be afraid to set those dreams. Set your goals. If you need to write it down, write it down. I ain't never been one that had to write them down because I kept them on my mind. But tell folks what you're going to do. You know, I think I told y'all the story about when I first got out of high school. I was working at a cabinet shop, first full-time job I had at the high school in construction. I was working at a cabinet shop, making minimum wage. He just gave me a nickel an hour raise because my wife and I had gotten married. So I was making $1.65 from $1.60, big money. Well, we were on break one day, and everybody was talking, and I'd had my dream. I was going to build houses ever since I worked between 11th and 12th grade of high school, building houses. So I told them, I said, you know, I'm going to build houses one day. And they got the biggest chuckle out of that. Kind of hurt my feelings. And I talked about this in an earlier video. But you know, this was 1973. Well, by 1993, I'm building so many houses, my cabinet man can't keep up with me, so I need to hire another cabinet man. So guess who I hired? I hired the guy I was working for in 1973. He was building my cabinets. Now, I'm building houses. You know, they thought it was so funny when I said that, when all I knew how to do was trying to learn how to sand cabinets, not cross the grain and mess them up, and didn't know a thing about nothing. But you know what? Every time I'd sign his check, I'd just smile. And I'd think, who's laughing now? I never said nothing about it because I know they didn't mean nothing bad about it. And I'm sure it sounded pretty crazy at the time. Set your goals. Tell people what you're going to do. Let them know what your plans are. That helps you. It helps hold you accountable. That's all I got to tell you today was on my mind. Y'all have a good day. Talk with you tomorrow.